Hello and welcome to Point of View. This is the first generation Audi Q5. This car is from 2010, but the Q5 in this model form was introduced in 2008. The same body style continued on until 2012 when the facelift was introduced. All in all, this design continued up until 2018. For you Audi nerds, this is also referred to as the B8 model. So the Q5 was sort of the baby of the SUV range back in the day. It was a smaller version of the Q7 and it looks good, especially in S-line trim. It has some sporty details along the car. This version has the painted lower half of the body. I think that is almost a necessity for these cars. Big wheels, these are 19-inch wheels that have winter tires, non-studded winter tires on them. Summer tires and summer wheels for this car was 20-inch, and that's how it came out of the factory. LED rear lights, very nice design, and also bi-xenon headlights with LED daytime running lights. Now this is one of the first, let's say, popular cars that had LED daytime running lights. Sure, the S8 and many more cars had them before, but this is among, with the A4 and the A5, let's say the first of the breed. So what else on the outside? It looks sleek, it looks modern, big, very big side mirrors, just like an elephant, and this has the optional automated tailgate, so just hold the button and it opens right up. This one does not have the rear view camera, but it was an option. So as you can tell, the boot is fairly big. It's smaller than the Skoda Superb that I just recently tested, and I like that the shelving comes up so it's not in the way. Now sitting at the back, I'm sorry for the filthy interior, but it is really shitty out there. Today is actually quite a nice day for weather, so you can imagine what it's like here. So this is my driving position. I'd say legroom is decent, but I really can't stretch too much. If you want, you can fit snugly, and to be honest, I probably could move the front seat a bit forward. This feature is one thing I especially like, the panoramic sunroof or the moonroof, whichever you call it. It just makes the interior, doesn't it? I know it was an expensive option when it was new, but god damn it, it's nice. Then you have this handrest with some cup holders. Quite flimsy to close these things. Well, just go away. Okay, the seats do fold flat. I'm gonna show you that right now. So there's a lever down here, just push it down like that. So basically it's almost a flat floor bed, so good for carrying items, but it's not the largest car in terms of boot space. Now this is the key of the Q5, typical Audi key, nothing special. You see these buttons down here? These are fake. If you got the keyless entry, these buttons were used to lock and unlock the car, and all of the doors have them. Unfortunately, this car does not have that option, so it's regular button usage. So if you had keyless entry, there would be a start-stop button here, but right now you just have to insert the key here, push it, and the car fires up. So let's start the drive, and I'll talk more about the engine and gearbox. So keen viewers might have already seen and maybe even heard that this car is not a diesel, it's a petrol version of the Q5 that has 155 kilowatts from its 2-liter turbocharged engine. And It's an engine that's widely used among the Volkswagen and Audi platform. There are many versions of it, 132 kilowatts, 165 kilowatts, and I think some more. And of course the same engine is also used in the GTI, in the Cupra, although in a different configuration. So it's a very strong engine. There's no doubting that. But, and there's a big but, this engine has a serious fault, and that is oil consumption. And basically what it means that the car slowly and gently starts using more oil if it hasn't had the full engine rebuild. Basically everything is fine until the car uses roughly 1 liter per, let's say, 1,000-2,000 kilometers. It's still considered normal by Audi. But when the car uses 1 liter per 500 kilometers, then basically you're done. You've had it. If the car is not under warranty and Audi does not help you out, oh dear, you're looking at a bill for something like 10,000 euros. So tip number 1 for buying the used Q5, because you can't buy this model new anymore, check if it has had the engine rebuilt. If it hasn't had it, just walk away. And I mean it. If it hasn't had the engine rebuilt, it most likely in the near future will need some work, and you do not want to do it. I'm serious. Just walk away. This particular car had its engine rebuilt, I think it was in 2012 or 2011, and it cost something around 9,600 euros, and Audi, I think it was around 95% of it was covered, although the car was not under warranty that time. But the thing that saved this car and the previous owner was the fact that it had a immaculate repair warranty, history in Audi. Everything was done by the book, all oil changes, basically nothing was left to third-party mechanics, and nothing was overdue and stuff like that. So Audi really helped them out. So the second thing is the timing chain is also a weak part of this engine. It's not as expensive to repair as the full engine rebuild, of course, and most likely if the car has had a engine rebuild, it's just logical that the engine chain was replaced as well. This is point number 3 or fact number 3 when buying a used Q5. Check if the gearbox is working perfectly. And I mean, there should be no judders, no lag. Gear shifts in D mode should be like, buttery smooth. You shouldn't feel them. And if you have pedals and just go through the gears, downshifts should be fast. Upshifts as well. It should be smooth, it should be useful. Another thing to really look at is change between the reverse and driving gears, and if you feel any lag or judder when the car starts moving, there probably is a fault with the clutch or the mechanism inside the gearbox, and those again, yes, you guessed it, aren't really cheap. So basically I'm done with the problems of this car. Now let's talk about the good things. I like the way this car drives. It feels more like a sedan than a SUV, and that's basically what you want in a small, let's say, city SUV. You're not gonna take this off-roading. Come on, let's be serious. You will never take your Q5 more off-roading than the occasional snow in the winter and maybe some slush or mud or whatever, leaves basically. The engine, it's really strong, I think. 155 kilowatts, you're thinking, that might be too little for a SUV. Well, it's not really. 0 to 100 kilometers, I think it was like 7.5 seconds. You heard the downshifts, right? Beautiful, beautiful. And it's not uncomfortable. It's sporty. It is sporty, but it's definitely not uncomfortable. Oh, dead end. Oh well, let's just make a reversing sensors, parking sensors all around. Let's go that way then. For example, when a similar Volvo XC60, it's just wallowing around. It's like you're riding on a soft pillow and you're not very sure where the pillow is. With this car, you know where the wheels are, what they're doing. Let's talk about the interior. This is the S-Line version, which means it has half leather, half sporty cloth. You could option for the Alcantara and of course full leather. All of those are a option in standard form. If you get the regular non-S-Line version, you just get cloth standard seats. These are the sport seats, and they really change the look of the interior if possible. And to be honest, there are so many alternatives out there. Just get one with sports seats. It feels solid, it's built well, nothing really squeaks and rattles. I especially like the steering wheel, the S-Line version, 3 spokes, and it's perforated on the side, it has paddles, everything is logically laid out. I really can't complain. The gear stick feels solid, it's big and chunky, it's easy to use. If I have to complain, the middle section down here, although this is aluminium, the things that are surrounding the aluminium, it's plastic. It's cheap plastic, really. In reality, I'm being really picky because it is an Audi and the Audi's interiors are, good. End of that. Talking about options and what this car has, of course, the panoramic sunroof, electric tailgate, automated headlights, automatic high beam assist, xenon headlights that don't swivel, but Jesus, that's a big bump. What else? Bang & Olufsen stereo system. To be honest, I'm a bit disappointed by that system. And if you ask why, it's because in the A6 and A7 they used a better system, of course in the A8 as well, and that Bang & Olufsen was really top notch. This system is the same found in the A4, A5. It's okay. It's just okay. But then again, I wouldn't buy a Q5 currently in the used car market that didn't have this system, because when you get the standard system, it's just bad. It really is. This screen is the standard screen. I think you couldn't get a Q5 with the red screen. Just, if you see a car like that, just walk away. They have no value in the used car market. Get one that has a screen like this, or if you can, and to me it's not a necessity, get one with navigation system or the MMI, the Audi multimedia interface. Simple thing how to distinguish this screen from the higher, better screen. I think it was even higher resolution. If you have media buttons down here, menu, navigation, etc., and the volume control is down here, you have navigation. If you don't, the system is up here, and you have a volume knob here and all the controls here. Oh, the fuel consumption. That is a real issue with the car, and it's sort of a paradox, because if you find a car that has had the engine rebuilt, it will most probably use more fuel than the factory version of this car. Don't know why. Maybe because it's, safer for the engine and it will last longer. I'm not sure really, but it just does. And in reality, do not look at the spreadsheets. On the highway, if you're getting, let's say, 8, it's good for this car, for this engine. If you're getting let's say 12, 13 in the city, it's really good. And I wouldn't be surprised if you found yourself, having the average around 10, 11, maybe even 12. Just so you know, this isn't a car to buy if you're after fuel consumption. So if you're choosing between this car and the 3-liter diesel, and the price isn't that different, and you find the version that you like for both cars, I'd probably go with the 3-liter diesel. Yep. It's a good car for the money currently, because these cars could be had for around 12 to 15, 16,000 euros in decent mileage. This car has done 147,000 kilometers, and basically it feels tight as a drum. Yes, it has had many service works done to it, among the engine rebuild, but yeah, it feels good. It feels good. I think that's about it. This was my short review of the Audi Q5 with the 2-liter petrol engine. So as this car is in our family, you will get updates in the near future. How is it in the winter? How has it held up in the first year of ownership, etc, etc. So yeah, if you liked the video, please like, share and subscribe, and as always, see you again guys. Bye bye.